for the project. So once you've done that, then you'll get your total rate that you can now use on your POQ. Is there any questions at this point?
Not related to your examples, Boo.
Yes.
It's just Tamisa, sorry, Kamisa, asking about the presentations, sharing them, and everything else. And we said London is going to deal with that regarding the logistics of who gets the presentations and the calculation sheets and all of that. Can they please communicate with London directly? London, can you please just put your WhatsApp number one more time on the chat box so that people can communicate with you directly?
No problem, Mr. Long.
So I think that's the one, Mr. Smooth. Then the other one, let me see, maybe you've answered it. Just hang on. As I'm looking at it, it says, Tambani, does the software provide concepts like wastage, say quantity of bricks per square meter for various items in the rate build-ups, which are fixed, thus allowing one to only use the platform to change? I think, just hang on. I think to just change labor and profit, I think so. Variables like prices and labor output. So, did you answer that one, Smo?
No, I didn't see this one. Sorry.
Okay, no, very important, Tembani, very important question. Maybe let me explain it for everyone's benefit. So that the software contain concepts like wastage, quantity, and say quantity of bricks per square meter for various rate build-ups. The first question, yes, the software contains rates that are worked out already. So as you can see, I think that my colleague Rido, when she was pricing, the rate is already worked out for you. So quantity is built in there per unit measurement. Rate for labor is built in there. Fuel is built in there. Plant hire is built in there. The only thing that you adjust up and down is your profit margin, which is you add for yourself at your discretion. Number two, you can actually add a discount to your material to bring the rate down, or plant ownership, wherein instead of saying I'm hiring out plant, I own plant, that also brings the rate down. So the only thing that you have to do in terms of your manual work on the software is to adjust prices up and down depending on how compatible you want to be as a bidder.
Mr. Lunga.
Okay, there was another question. I just want to clear all the questions.
Okay.
Anders asked, and I'm sure you partially answered it, please demonstrate an example for sewer pump station. Okay, and thank you. So Andres, I think we've shown sewer pipes, and mechanical and electrical is shown by Blessing. We don't have like example for a full pump station, because that would mean that it would be an entire bill to work out all the items. But I think Smooth's partial answer was, you'll realize that when you're doing a pump station, you have civils, you have concrete works, you've got mechanical, you've got electrical, and you have a bit of process and chemicals. So what that does is the examples that we've shown you is how to deal with each discipline with its own merits, and to make sure that you come up together with the bid, so that you know exactly when you're looking at mechanical and electrical, how do you look at it versus how you look at civil works, how do you look at that? But a combined example can be a bit difficult because it involves all the disciplines. So to put it, we would have to have, in one calculation sheet, we would have to have many tabs to actually price each and every item. That becomes a bit impossible. Although it can be done, but it's quite long. And I think, I suppose the lesson here is to understand the principles, and then it's to understand, as you are pricing different disciplines, how to approach these disciplines in their own merits. I think those are the underlying factors that all our co-presenters are busy trying to convey through these examples and through their presentations. Okay, I don't have anything else, Boo. I've cleared the questions. You can proceed with your live software pricing.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah, just to add also on what you just mentioned about the sewer pump station, the BOQ in itself, it will come, separated. Electrical will be there, mechanical will be there, civil will be there, building will be there. The engineer will give it to you, separately. It won't be just one long BOQ of, a list of activities. So the principles that we are presenting here, they will assist you greatly also to be able to price for a sewer pump station should you need that. Also, the software will be able to assist you with that. It's just that maybe you will need to separate the BOQs. Maybe you'll start with a civil BOQ, you price it, and then you'll price the mechanical BOQ separately, price the electrical, and so forth. And then another, okay, now let me take you to the software demonstration. Just hold on a sec. I just need to prep. Sorry about that. Can everyone see my screen now?
Okay, this one.
Yes, thank you. So, as my colleagues have explained, how you log in, how you add a new tender, I will start also. The first thing that we will need to do is to add our tender. So, for the purpose of this demonstration, I will be using the Namibia region just to show you how it works. And then we're still going to use a sewer project as an example. So we can call our tender a sewer upgrade project. Then the reference number, we can call it SW122. Advertisement date is a date that you are going to get on the tender advert, and then you put it as it is, same as the closing. And then I will just say Namibia. Estimator is who. And then you need to choose Namibia. And then we are doing our work category is civil works. And then the service category is sewer services. And then once you are happy with all your information that you have inputted here, you can now submit. What's happening now? Let's try again. Mr. Lunga. Sewer rate. Great. Say closing date is next, whatever. Then the advertisement date, the client, let's say is Namibia. And the hook. Estimator is Cebu. And we choose the region, work category, service category. We are doing sewer services. And then we can add. Can you just give me a second so that I can sort this out? Sorry about that. Okay, colleagues, I will just log on with another user so that we can proceed, because it seems I'm having a challenge here. Please just bear with me.
Okay, let's just check on Spoo. I think it's coming along well. He just needs to share his screen and we'll proceed from there. Sorry for this slight error.
Sorry, my colleagues. I'm not sure if it's an IT problem but I'm just having a bit of a challenge here today in general. I'm sorry about that.
Hi, Spoo. I think the quick solution is go to incomplete tenders, resume pricing, and then re-import your tender from scratch.
Okay, no problem. Let me try that.
Cool. Then that's the quickest way. Because I know that sometimes due to network problems, things don't function quite well. And load shedding as well plays an impact.
Okay, no, I'm just gonna share my screen and then we will do as you have just advised, and then I will resume on what do you call it? An exercise that I was doing. Right. So as I explained, we are gonna use SUA upgrade for this demonstration. Therefore, I will go on resume. At this point, I assume that all the attendees know how to add a new tender and all of that. So I don't think there's not much that we have lost. So what I'm just gonna do now is
Maybe, sorry,
re-import
Spoo.
the POQ.
Yeah, maybe re-import
Yes.
because it will take us through the steps
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, in case anyone missed it and anyone arrived late, at least they also have that knowledge.
Yeah. So basically, if you have successfully been able to add a new tender, the immediate next step is this one, where you need to upload your BOQ. So we're gonna do just that. Upload our BOQ. And then at this point, the system will show you how your BOQ looks like. Then you can check here on your Excel sheets if everything is in order. If you're happy with that, you click next. And then the software now asks you which of the sheets is the P's and G's you need to indicate. Then you do that. And then you need to now match the columns of the system with that of your BOQ. And then in my BOQ, item number is item number, activity description is just description, unit is still unit, quantity it's the same, rate the same, amount. Now once you are happy with your columns or the matching of your columns, then you can click on the next step. The software asks you, are you sure you are satisfied with column matching and the BOQ uploaded? The next step will process your BOQ and launch an online version, an online BOQ version. So if you are happy, you click yes. If no, for some reason, you can click no, and then you can go to that process of re-importing. You are always able to re-import the BOQ at any point in time. You need to do that. So if, for instance, the BOQ was initially issued for the tender, and then while you are still carrying on with the tender, the engineer or the client issues an addendum to say, no, the BOQ, you need to remove this or you need to add this. Now the new BOQ is this one. Then you can re-upload on the same tender, and then you reprice now, that new BOQ. So the system allows you at any point in time to re-upload your BOQ. So now this is what your BOQ looks like. Your sheets no longer appear here at the bottom of your screen. Now they appear up here. Now this is the online version of the BOQ which the system was telling you about. If now you are happy, you've checked your information, there's nothing missing, now you can proceed to step number 2, which is the actual pricing. as my colleagues have explained, preliminary and general items are priced separately, the way that they have explained and the way that we all know how to, because normally our P's and G's are linked to the total cost of works. So you need to have the price of works, and then you can work out your price of preliminaries and generals, because the client will maybe give you a cap and say you can only go up to 10% or 15%. So we can proceed. Now, for you to be able to price your BOQ using the software, you have 2 or 3 ways which you can do it. The first one being the easiest one, or the one that we hope we can all be able to use successfully, which is the auto match. Auto match allows you to look for rates in the systems that are matching your descriptions or your activities, what you are looking for, and then apply those rates to your bill. So now if we click auto match, this command will pop up, and then it will ask you, do you want auto match accuracy level to be 50%, 70%, or 100%? So this is up to you, but for me, I always go with 100%, because then I know what I have found is exactly what I am looking for. And then in a case where 100% doesn't work, and then I can lower my accuracy level. The reason for that is that sometimes the BOQs, you have a certain activity that is being described a little bit differently. So if you use 100% accuracy, it will not pick up. If whatever that is on the system doesn't match 100% with your BOQ, then it won't be able to pick it up. And then, but if you say 70% or 50%, then it picks up part of the description in your BOQ and match it with what is on the system. So as I explained, start with 100 and then you see what you have there. So in this case, the BOQ that we are using, we have found exactly the same descriptions. As you can see, this is your BOQ descriptions. This is the rate description in the system. So once you have seen these rates, they are matching, you are happy, then you can click on accept selected rates. Then the system populates your rates for you, and at the same time calculates the amount, meaning it multiplies your rate with your quantity to give you your amount. And then once you are happy with that, you need to save. You need to click on save, and then the system will save these rates for you for this particular sheet. Then you can move on to the next sheet. You do the same again. You use auto match, and then auto match will pick up any rates that are available for you that are matching what you are looking for. If you see here something, that's why there's this option here to either select all the rates or select a few of these rates. So for instance, if I don't agree with this rate here of excavation up to 3 meters for 694, then I can say, no, this rate I will build it up myself separately so that I can, make money based on my experience. So if in your experience, 694 was not enough, because sometimes, the area and the environment will dictate the amount that you need to use, or the rate that you need to use. So you can click on accept. the selected rate, and then all your rates that you have selected will be populated in the system, as you can see. Now, for this rate here, you have to now, if you want to calculate for it separately, you are welcome to do that. You can use our rate build-up sheet to work up your rate. Or if you have a specific rate that you know and you are confident of, then you can just double click here. You double left click here, and then you can just input your rate. So let's say the rate that works for you is $1,000. Then you can punch it there, and then you can just click outside of the box, and then it will work it out for you there. Or the other option is to search for this rate. If you maybe not comfortable, you want to look for specific rates, then you can use the search function, which I will show you also. And then once you are done, you must save. It is important for you to save at all times, because we know these days we are dealing with a lot of load shedding, so you don't want to lose your work. So each and every sheet that you work through, make sure you save it. And then now, because we added a rate outside of what is in the system, now the system will ask you, do you want to save this rate? So if for whatever reason there is a rate that you built up yourself, and you've put it in here in your BOQ, you need to save it. Now the system will ask you now, do you want to save this rate on the system? So you can now allocate it accordingly on which category it needs to be saved. So we know we are dealing with sewer services. We know we are doing excavations, if I'm not mistaken, right? Earthworks, pipe trench, yes, it's excavation. So it's this one. Then you can save it if you are happy with it. If for whatever reason you don't want to save it, then you can just click on cancel, and the system will just save your sheet without that rate. But you have an option of saving your rates that you work out. So you only have to work out your rate once and use it in the system, and then you save it. Then each and every time you need to use it again, you can just use AutoMatch, and then AutoMatch will tell you where is this rate coming from. Is it a rate that you build up yourself, or is this a rate that the software provided for you, so that you know that, okay, this is the rate that I'm comfortable with, or this is the rate that I've built up myself. Maybe you need to update it for whatever reason, you can do so. Then we can move on to the next sheet, which is the sewer pipes. Then you can use the same AutoMatch again. Once you've picked up all that you need, you can use AutoMatch 100%. Then we save. And then sewers and manhole chambers, you can use AutoMatch again. And then once you are happy with this, accept the rate. And then we can move on to the next sheet. So if your BOQ is what's the word I'm looking for? Is in the right or correct format, which is compatible with the system, you can see that you will be able to move faster, in pricing your BOQ. So in essence, you can price, 25, 30 sheets, in a space of hours, using this function of AutoMatch. So and then you can save if you are happy with your rate. So for whatever reason, let's say you couldn't find a rate, or you are not happy with something, then you can use this function. If you click right on top of the rate, just click once, then it gives you the search box. Now you can search for this rate. So we can go here. We know we are doing sewer, and then our trade category is I think we are on sewer pipes, if I'm not mistaken. No, we are on bedding. Sewer bedding, and then the subsection is bedding for sewer pipes. So if for whatever reason you want to go for stormwater pipes, sewer pipes, and then you are able to be flexible to search for your rate here. And then let's say granular. No, sorry. Let me just redo this. Yeah. So you can use this, and then we search for, we are looking for granular material, sewer services. Sorry guys, there's just something I need to attend to quickly.
Sorry about that. Let's give Spoo a minute.
Okay, no, I'm back. Sorry. So the search for the rate function works in that way that you can narrow down your search by using service category, trade category, and trade subsection. So we know we are dealing with bedding of pipes. We know we are looking for bedding material. What am I not getting right?
Maybe you can try and remove that granular.
Yes, I've removed that.
Yeah, and try and search elsewhere.
Yeah, let me use this one. Limited overhaul sewer. We are doing bedding for pipes. And then we are talking
There's
about
overhaul down there.
Sorry?
No, you are fine.
Yeah. But where are my rates, Mr. Lunga? I can't find my rates here.
Just do an automate. Let's see if you can find them.
Automate can pick them up.
Okay, maybe for now, let's proceed with automate.
Yeah.
And we'll ask the IT guys to sort out the manual search.
Yeah. I think it's because of most this Namibian version is still work in progress. So it might be that, because with our version, it's quite quick to pick up, even if you search for the rate. But let's proceed so we can save here. So once you are at this point, now you have the rates that we've been referring to as raw rates. So these are rates that are just worked out on labor, plant, and material. So now you need to add your allowances. So you can start again from the first one that you worked on, then you click on adjustments. Now there are two factors that that affect your adjustment. There's reducing factors, and then there's cost increasing factors. So if for whatever reason for this activity, which is site clearance, obviously we don't have any material here, so we put 0% for material. And then for plant, if let's say for instance you are owning that TLB, or you are owning that grader that you're going to use to clear, then you feel that it's okay for me, I can give a discount, then you can do that. Let's say you say I'm going to give my client 5% discount, and then my profit I want 25%. then the system will calculate for you a cost adjustment factor. So this factor will be applied generally to all your rates in this section that we are dealing with, which is site clearance. And then you would have seen that your rates have changed, and then you are able to redo the adjustment if for whatever reason you couldn't what's the word I'm looking for, you didn't put the right percentage, then you are able to redo it and put the right one again. Then we can do the same again for the other sheets. For this one, which is earthworks, for the pipe trench, it's the same. There's no material involved. And then the plant, let's say you have plant, you can give 5%. And then our profit margin is 25%. Then it will give us that. Then it will adjust our rates. And then for the sewer pipes now, let's assume you have a good relationship with your supplier and he can give you a discount which you can transfer to your client. You are able to do so. You can punch it in or you can split it with the client, whichever works for you. Then you can say, okay, my supplier is giving me 10% discount. Maybe I will give 7% discount to my client. And then for the plant ownership, let's say I don't have plant for this particular, then I'll give it a 0. And then for my profit margin, let's say I want 20% for this particular activity for whatever reason or factors that are around that project at that time. Then you'll get a factor specifically for that work that you will be doing or that section of the work that you will be doing. Then you adjust it accordingly. And then for the manual chambers, you can do the same adjustment. You put, whatever percentages. Let's say here there's no discount for anything. And then our profit margin is at 25%. Then our rates will be adjusted accordingly. And then for the pipes, you do the same. Let's say 0 for the bedding, I'm sorry. Then for profit margin, let's say we want 20%. As explained, all of these are factors that you are going to need to input yourself because you are in the position of knowing how much money do you want as profit, and then you are the one who knows and the kind of relationship you have with your suppliers in case you don't own plant or machinery. Also with regards to materials, the same applies. Then you can adjust your rate as shown. And then once you are done with all of this, let's say you have priced even your P's and G's, of which at this point we have not touched. You can move on to detailed preview and export. So now if you go to preview and export, it will ask you now, or it will indicate for you which of the sheets have you not adjusted, and then which of the sheets which you have not provided rates for. So if you see here, for preliminary and general, we have not adjusted, we have not added any rates. Now for sewers and manuals, we have adjusted, but there is a rate missing there. Already now you know, okay, my BOQ is not complete. Then you can go back and check what went wrong or where's the price. So now we can see here, we didn't price this. So you can come, use AutoMatch, you find your rate, you accept your rate, and then you save, and then and then we can reset adjustment because we've adjusted before we actually priced. So now we need to start it clean, and if you say reset, and then it's gonna put everything into perspective, and then now we go for adjustment. Then you put whatever discount or cost reducing factors that you need to put, and then you put your profit margin there, and then you apply accordingly. And then now we can go to detailed preview and export. Now it will show us. Now we see that we've done everything on the other sections or the other sheets. We have applied our rates there. We have applied our adjustment there. It's only the preliminary and general. So in a case where you've done everything, this software will just take you straight to the preview and summary. Now, this is how it's going to appear for you. It's just going to summarize for you all of your sheets.
Hi, Mr. Smoo.
Yes.
Can I just jump in? I think there's an opportunity to emphasize something very important.
Yes.
Yeah. So the step that you just showed is where you think you've finished pricing, and now you want to export your bill so that
Yes.
you can fill in your physical tender document, right?
Yes.
So what the system does before you export your bill to PDF, it actually scans your entire bill. Then it tells you the areas where you have not priced yet or you have not adjusted. Adjustment in this case is adding your profit margin.
Yes.
And quickly you can actually see how the system is helping you there. One, it's helping you ensure that all the items in this bill are priced. We know that we are pricing in a hurry. The tender is closing the following day, and we're pricing at, let's say, 80 hours of the morning, 4 a.m. The tender is closing at 8 a.m. Sometimes we make mistakes, so the system takes care of that, number one. Number two, sometimes we're pricing and we have searched for our rates, and we think that the rates are done because all the rates have been completed. However, we have not added our profit margins. The system quickly reminds us that, listen, you need to add your profit margin because at the end of the day, you are running a business. So I think the advantages of the system scanning your bill are very critical to help us price our bills comprehensively, number one. But number two, and most importantly, make sure that in every area we've added adequate profit margins so that at least we know that we are profitable as a business. Over to you, Mr. Smoo. You can proceed. Thank you.
Yes, that is very, 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 very true and useful for someone who is in this business, because we know mistakes, they come, and we need to cover our back at all costs. So the system helps you a lot in that area. So once you are at this stage, now you are able to export your BOQ either to PDF or Excel version. Then you can, by export basically is to download it. So then now you can save it in your company server or your company archives, and then you can give it to your clerk, and then they can fill it in for you as Mr. Lunga has explained. Then this part, step number 4, is just a summary and preview. Summary is like it's the preview of the summary. So if you want to open your summary preview, it gives you the same notification as it would when you are looking for a detailed preview, that your tender report will not be comprehensive without applying all the rates. So at this point, we know we have not priced P's and G's, maybe for a certain reason, but in this case, we have not priced it because it's a separate exercise altogether. So we can click continue. I'm having this error because we are still, as I explained, with our Namibian version of the system, is still a work in progress, but I believe my colleagues would have shown you all the way up to step number 4. And that will essentially bring us to the end of my presentation. I just want to export the BOQ just so that we can see it. Oh, it's coming on another screen. Let me share that one. So our PDF BOQ will now look like this. So you can give this now to your clerk, and then your clerk can quickly fill in, the rates and the amount. I mean, now it's quick and easy and nice for you. And then, these are just average plant production output. As I explained, a detailed list of plant with the, assumed or with the documented production output is available from different sources which you can refer to. But in the software itself, all of this information is available for you to use at any time you need to. So another thing that I forgot to share with you is the common mistakes that people normally do when pricing, either than, the normal ones that we know of. So I'm just gonna share again my screen to take you through that. So it's 5 common mistakes that estimators make when pricing for civil services. We normally don't factor in for underground services or exploration of underground services when pricing in developed areas. So as I explained, in developed areas, there is a lot of things happening, meaning that your production will not be as fast or as quick as you wish it to be. So you need to factor into your price all those things that you need to do, because in other urban areas we are required to scan for services underground, whether there is a water line or a sewer line or a fiber or electric line. You need to know, and you need to have you need to have allowed for that somewhere in your rate, but in other BOQs, there will be a section where they ask you, or it will be a provisional sum to say for underground exploration or this and that, this is the allowable or this is the provision, or they will ask you to price for it. Then you can price for it. Then you don't have to worry about it. But if you are pricing and you are not very sure, and when you look at the area, when you do your site visit, when you look at the area, and then you can see that no man, I might have challenges here because I don't see any power line, but there's houses and all of that. So meaning power must be running underground somewhere. So whatever I'm pricing for, I need to have that somewhere in the back of my mind. And then the second one is not factoring breakage and off cuts when pricing for pipe laying. As I explained when I was taking you through that example, that when handling pipes, sometimes they break because it's plastic, sometimes it's concrete pipes. So during loading and offloading and moving around, you do lose some of that material. So you need to put in a factor there, which we call it wastage, as I've explained or shown it to you. So that one is also dependent company on company, maybe manager on manager. It depends on the team you are working with. And then you will know that no, my team looks like they are very clumsy, so I must maybe push it to 10% wastage, or my team is very good. I don't have those problems, or I don't experience those problems. I'm just gonna keep my wastage at the minimum, maybe 2% or 3%. That is entirely up to you. And then the other one is not factoring in pipe handling tools and equipment when pricing for pipelines. Yes, this also, as I did also mention when I was taking you through the example, that when we are doing any work, we need to factor in all tools, whether small, no matter how small it is, factor it in because it's a cost that you are going to incur. So you need to have it covered. You have to cover all the ground as much as possible. So this one, pipe handling tools, it's referring to things like there's this steel bar that we use. We call it crowbar. It looks like a crowbar. It's not a crowbar. We just use it to to push the pipe in position. So it's something small that maybe costs like 100 rands or whatever, but you need that thing. Maybe you're gonna buy 2 or 3 of those things, and somewhere along, the project, you might lose this thing. So if you can imagine that if you didn't price for it at all, or you didn't factor it in your rate, then it's a loss from the onset. From the time you buy the first one, you are losing because you didn't factor it in. Then you lose it, then you buy another one. So you need to be careful when doing that. And then another one.
Can I come in, Mr. Spoo?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Like I said, I can't resist important opportunities to emphasize certain points. On that one, you are very right, Mr. Spoo. You realize that when you start a project, you will need certain tools. Let's say it's an 18-month project. You purchase tools when you are starting as part of your site establishment. And now as you're working, these tools get worn out. Somewhere in the middle of the project, let's say 25, 30% into the project, you need to purchase these tools again. Then you carry on at 50% of the project, you need to repurchase these tools again. Your shovels, your spades, everything, right? As soon as your laborers are starting to work with it, they start being worn out. And from time to time, you need to repurchase. Same as, let's say, your safety gloves. As people are wearing them and are using them, and it's hard labor, and it's very intensive, they get worn out. You need to purchase again. So that's the example that you might not see it from the onset, but as you are making more purchases, you start realizing that, hey, my petty cash money that I'm using to run the site is now becoming depleted, or it's increasing in terms of how much I need to pay. Why? Because you never factored this thing from the onset. So I think that's the importance of making sure that as you are pricing everything else, you factor in all of those handling tools. Like Spoo just talked about it very well, including your chains that you use to lower your, let's say, concrete pipes from a TLB or a higher position into your trench. You need certain chains. Those chains, you must factor them in. And how your laborers handle them will depend on, will actually inform how long will they last. But in worst case scenario, they don't last that long. So it is something that you continuously need to purchase. And of course, you need to factor it in as you are pricing your BOQ. Thank you, Spoo. Back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Yes, that is very, very true. There is a lot of small tools that we normally don't think about, or we just, we ignore it because of whatever reason. So when you are pricing, you just need to sit down and really think about it long and hard. That what is it that I'm gonna need. And then you put it in there so that your rate is as comprehensive as possible, so that anything that you need to buy for the project, it comes from the project, not from your profit, because at the end of the day, you are working to make that money. Now, the last mistake, or the fifth mistake, is incorrect rate build-up method for precast, in situ cast, and brick-made manholes and chambers. So this is another one where you just using the wrong method to build up your rate for whatever reason, because as you can see, these are all different types of manholes or chambers where the method is also different. For instance, if you are going to use a precast manhole, then it means you are going to have very minimum concrete that you are going to use. So meaning also the tools and things like that will also be probably minimum in terms of concrete works. But if you are going to use in situ cast, and then you need a lot of things. You need a poker vibrator, you need floaters, you need you know, you need a lot of things that you need to have in place. You need charters, so all of those things you need to make sure you have accounted for them to build up your rate. The same with the brick-made manholes. It's another type which probably you'll have less concrete, but you're going to have more mortar and bricks and maybe plastering that you are going to do there. So when you build up these rates, they are working very differently. So if your bill comes and then it tells you this is a precast manhole, or this is an in situ cast, or this is a brick made, you need to know how to approach it so that you price it right, because you might end up losing money there. Yes, I think I am done with my presentation. I would like to just state that the software is very, very, very comprehensive in terms of assisting us in coming up with prices for our tenders, and also just generally, in coming up with ways to execute projects. There is a rate info library where there is a lot of information that you can find there. Things like preliminary or draft work programs or schedules, things like method statements, and as an organization, we are always working on continuously developing. So sessions like this are for us, they are sort of a research or investigation. So you guys need to come in and tell us also, guys, I think if we can add this, or guys, do you have this, as we have been engaging, so that we know what to cater for in future, so that when you start using this thing, it needs to come with improvements on a daily. And ever since I've been involved in this program, there is a lot of improvements that I have seen. There is a lot of improvements that I have experienced, and I must say it is a very, very good system. And any company needs to have this to be able to be competitive and to make money in your respective fields. I thank you for your time and your attention. I will take you back to Mr. Lunga. Will take over from here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Sbu. Before we let you go, you can remain muted. We'd like to check, are there any comments? Are there any points of clarity? Are there any compliments or anything regarding civil works? Because Sbu, I think, did two things. One, he presented the principles of rate build-ups as well as examples as it relates to civil works. Then his second part of the presentation, he went straight into the software to show you how now the software complements whatever principles that he was teaching us. So I think that said it covered everyone that was curious or interested in civil works. So I think we would like to take in comments, questions, and everything else. From then on, we will proceed to pricing of preliminary and general items. Before we go there, please, you can tap on the chat box or you can raise your hand and we'll take it from there. Okay, fine, Sbu. I think if there's any question, they'll put it on the chat box or the WhatsApp London. London, please, if you get questions related to the technicalities of the software, please relay them to Sbu, or Civil Works, relay them to Sbu, or whoever is the expert, whether it's building, electrical, mechanical, you organize it accordingly. I think our WhatsApp number is there. London will redirect everyone accordingly. Thank you for that. I think, please, can you switch off your video? I think Mr. Amu. Yes, thank you. I'm going to stop recording this session because this was a civil session. When I start P's and G's, I'll do a new recording. This helps us manage